Cavaliers fans, our Cleveland Cavaliers are winners yet again. The third game in a row, second night of the back-to-back as the Cleveland Cavaliers take down the Atlanta Hawks by a score of 137-115. Anthony Moeglin alongside my partner, Spin Davies, who is on site down at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. And Spin, this was a really, really impressive victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's a lot to get into in this one tonight, but I think the first place to start is I don't care what point in the season is. It could be in October, it could be in January, it could be in March, but the second night of a back-to-back is always a challenge. And the Cavs came out tonight with great energy, great offense, great defense, and it equated to a big win.
Always have to think about the energy factor when it comes to back-to-backs, but how about a back-to-back when you're down in Miami and then you have to fly back home and you don't get into the airport until 3 a.m. and then you have to drive home 20 minutes and then you're stimulated so much that you have to try to fall asleep. That I am basically describing Kenny's kind of itinerary that he told us about pregame. And it's interesting to think about it from that way because, you know, you think about just the physical element of it, but it's the mental, it's just kind of the travel fatigue, it's the physical fatigue, it's all of it together that really kind of makes it difficult. Those 5 and 7 stretches, not easy. The Cavs have another one after this week to go handle as well. But those road home back-to-backs are no joke. And he thought that they would have a sluggish type of game today. Just talking about the legs, didn't know if he would have, you know, the team kind of playing against a longer squad like Atlanta. Could have easily been stuck in quicksand. I think he said he thought he was going to see him play in mud, but clearly coming out and scoring 137 against a defense that, by the way, has been playing very well in this month. Again, putting up 130 plus. That's no joke. And these Cavs just keep on finding ways. And I think they were jolted a little bit by those All-Star announcements.
Yeah, we'll get into that and appreciate everybody jumping in with us as you're coming in with us, hanging out tonight, whether you're watching live or you're watching in the morning here. Jump into that comment section, let us know what you think. And we got a bunch of links below in this show description, a ton of content here on this YouTube page and everywhere else. But Spin, I think that I buried the lead a little bit here. Announced pregame, I think it was official pregame. They announced it inside the stadium. I actually got to be there tonight as a fan, which was pretty cool. But they put on the big Jumbotron, the big news of the night. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley named to the All-Star team for 2025. They're going to be joining Donovan Mitchell and Kenny Atkinson along with the coaching staff representing the Cleveland Cavaliers out in San Francisco. So that was pretty sweet, man. And it was really cool to see, when they put it on the big board, everyone obviously gave a standing ovation, but the players even, while the game was happening still, they took a moment to, I know Darius was on the court. He raised his hands up. Evan was on the bench. He was clapping. It was really cool to see because it was obviously an important accomplishment for those guys and for this team, to be recognized nationally on this national scale for this incredible start to the season that they've put together.
And different circumstances too, right? You have Evan Mobley with his first. This is something that he's been dreaming of since he was a kid. He was telling us all about this at the post game, just how it was his goal. Even he was talking about that at media day to be an all-star because that's what the pinnacle of individual play is and how good you are as a player, as a star. And Evan clearly offensively has taken his game to another level this year. We've seen it. I know since the injury, his three-point shot hasn't looked as good, but he's added that to his game. He's added the ball handling to his game, pushing it off of the rebounds and really taking an offensive, aggressive approach while keeping his effectiveness on the defensive end. And then his teammate, Darius Garland, first All-Star nod since 2021-22. This one's a little extra special for him. He said he was a soldier today after we were asking him about his All-Star nod and everything that he went through and where he was this time a year ago when he was, down 15 pounds. He had lost a ton of weight. Couldn't eat. He'd have to eat through a straw. He was kind of with his teammates in Paris, just seeing them kind of enjoy themselves and get to do all this stuff while he was, going through the ringer, and then obviously personal loss as well. So the fact that he was able a year later to be in this position, one, but also to be playing as good a basketball as he is, not turning the ball over, really leaning into getting to his spots and listening to Coach Atkinson and telling him, like, he's not turning the ball over. He's using that probe dribble. He's finding his teammates, and he's willing to take the shots too. And he's going into the paint, drawing contact, looking for contact too, adding some weight back on over the summer. So for those two, it's really nice to see. And Donovan, I thought Donovan, if you guys get a chance, go watch his post game when he's talking about Darius and how, like, everyone had turned their back on him over the summer except a select few, and it was pissing him off. So he knew it had to piss DG off. Like, that was some really good stuff if you go and listen to that on our YouTube page, because it was really, I think, introspective and telling of how much his teammates really appreciate it for him, probably the most.
Yeah, and to your point, a lot of you get to see a lot of the personal side of these guys tonight. Especially, we got clips of Donovan. You got a press conference, a really cool press conference between Darius Garland and Evan Moeglin, where they both shared the stage together and just talked about everything Spence just said. Right, how much this means to them to get this accomplishment, and Spin kind of directing it back to the game. I think some of the stuff that you talked about right there were evident in the performance by both Darius and Evan. I want to start with Darius because this game was in my eyes kind of important. You're taking on Trae Young, who everyone loves, right? Can score the ball at will. But what was something that was really that separated Darius and Trae tonight was Darius isn't a liability on defense. Like, you look at Trae Young and he can shoot it from the logo. He's got that in the gym range where you kind of have to guard him wherever, but he plays that like old Steph Curry type of basketball where he's like trying to like get fouls, and like it's an annoying brand of basketball to watch. Apologies, a little personal bias is coming out, but he gets out there, but he doesn't play defense at all. And it was very clear early on the Cavs were attacking him on the defensive side, and that's not something that Darius gives up. Darius is stout on defense. Yeah, he's a little bit smaller, but he sticks his nose in there, does it. And that's kind of the personality of this team, is that they do everything right on all sides of the ball. And then on offense, you talk about getting to his spots. His float game tonight was incredible, right? He was, anytime he got into the paint, anytime he got within 15 feet of the bucket, it felt like the ball was going to hit the bottom of the net. And he was on fire tonight. And it feels like this wasn't an outlier, right? We're 48 games into the season. This is the consistent Darius Garland. When he gets inside that 15 to 10-foot range, it feels like he's shooting like 90%, because every time he gets to that perfect float spot, gets it up in the air, and that ball just floats right through the bucket, hits the bottom of the net. And it's awesome when he gets rolling like that.
Yeah, he has a really good feel of angles, I think, is a really good way to put it. And, he gets the ones where he hits, nothing but net, but he also uses high glass a lot. And I think that just having the threat of him making a pocket pass or kicking it out to a teammate makes the defender have to think that much more. Is he going to float? Is he going to pull up from 15 feet? Is he going to try and get past me and draw a foul and get to the cup? Because he has so many different options from where he is on the floor, and that's what makes him such a threat. I think that tonight, in general, the Cavs were really good at getting to the paint. Man, 33 of 42 from the paint shots, like, that's big time. They scored 66 in the paint this evening, and they scored 137 total, which just tells you, like, all three levels, these guys are finding ways to score, and it hasn't mattered. But to your point about Trae Young, yes, he does do the things where he's trying to draw fouls and he's trying to, I don't know what you said, manipulate the game, but like, he's also doing it in the construct of the rules, and he's finding ways to do it. Donovan Mitchell had some really interesting stuff on Trae as well, like where he was actually complimentary, because he's like, if you have to do what you have to do to get your points and to get, ways to put the ball through the basket. And, a lot of that is at the free throw line, but he didn't really shoot too many free throws tonight, to be quite honest. DeAndre Hunter shot a ton of free throws. He was 12 of 12 from the free throw stripe. But, Cavs were a little bit handsy there in the second quarter, but I thought that they did a really good job of course correcting and fouling less in the second half, and they really came out guns a-blazing. But I thought it was interesting, though, Kenny talking about defending Trae Young. A lot of times the Cavs, they try to force ball handlers towards the middle and in towards the bigs. He didn't want Trae roaming around. He wanted him towards the sidelines. so that he had to kind of force Trey to figure out ways to pass it over the top or to, get it away into somebody else's hands so that Trey wasn't comfortable. And this is the third straight game now where the Cavs have done something very well defensively against the primary ball handler. It started with Cade Cunningham. Max Strus did a terrific job on him on Monday. You look at Tyler Hero, he was 9 of 20. I know he got going in the second half, but still not a very, efficient night, so to speak. And Trae Young, 5 of 16 tonight. And, that's somebody who's probably going to get a bunch of shots off, especially we know now that he believes he was snubbed from the All-Star game. So you thought that maybe he would come out and get a lot more shots off. But credit to Kenny Atkinson and his coaching staff and the Cavs for executing the game plan, keeping him on those sides and making sure that he didn't get to comfortable spots.
Yeah, appreciate everybody jumping in with us tonight as we recap the Cavaliers 137-115 victory here, a late night Cavs recap. But it's been one of the big ones for me that stood out was Evan Moeglin. Awesome night tonight. Finished the game 16 points, 10 rebounds. But the play of the night, going on a fast break, running the left lane. Donovan catches him with the out of the peripheral of his eye, out of the side eye here. Goes with a no-look pass. Evan catches and then jams right on top. I forget who it was, but
it was Veep Crazy. He got postered.
He got him good, man, and that was that aggression that you never really see out of Evan. It comes out every once in a while, but you saw it tonight. He screamed, he jumped, he jammed that thing home. He let out a big roar. It was pretty awesome, and he had himself another great night after being announced an All-Star.
And that's, it's good to see that because, the calf injury, maybe the first couple of games, he didn't look like maybe himself, trying to kind of get that pivot back, that footwork. It looks like the last couple nights, even since Monday, that it's starting to come back to him. Maybe the three-point shot, not so much yet, but the aggressiveness, driving left. Like I said, he loves to go left. He loves to finish left. But really, he's ambidextrous. He can do it either way. He's got the mid-post turnaround working now. He's got the jump hooks and just attacking off of closeouts and just attacking in general. When he has momentum going towards the cup and he's playing more controlled, I think he's playing more patient. And that is a scary sight for other teams. When he has that kind of offensive firepower going, we know that he's improved. But when he gets back to what he was pre-injury, pre-calf injury, like they're going to be, rolling right where they were again. It's tough to stop.
It's been one of the moves of the night that I thought we hadn't seen, and maybe he dug a little bit deeper into his bag, was the sideways Euro step that he took from, caught the ball in the right elbow, saw the lane, guy went to take a charge on him, and instead of just going right through him, he went Euro. And when I do a Euro, I cover maybe 3 feet. When Evan Moeglin does a Euro, he covers 10 feet, right? And he put the ball, he palmed that thing, and he put it way outside. Defense couldn't get to it. He goes Euro. Finishes up with the left hand. I was like, holy cow, this guy's deep in that bag of tricks.
Yeah, he's got a lot that he's gotten better at as far as the ball handling goes. And Kenny even mentioned when he was on a fast break, he turned it over, but he tried going behind the back on a fast break. And Kenny's like, what the hell? I didn't know he had that in his bag. So maybe it didn't work out on that particular play, but you can see the potential still with Evan, and he's still so young and just getting started with this coaching staff and his development. And they've given him so much freedom to do some more and to go outside of the box. And man, it's been great because he's not just a 4 or a 5. It's like he's a big wing. He's a big guard wing. He's kind of everything for them. And it's huge to see him starting to get back to that. And it's good because they were missing that, quite frankly, for a week and a half.
And he's the key, right? Donovan talks about it all the time. Wherever Evan wants to take this team is where it'll go, because you know what you're going to get out of Donovan Mitchell. You know what you're going to get out of Darius Garland every night. But Evan Moeglin has that superstar potential, and when he's rolling, he's impossible to guard. But it's been, I think, a bigger story tonight, right? We talked about the big dogs, but I think this was an absolute team effort. 7 guys score over 10 points, and 8 guys score 9 or more, as Jared Allen couldn't get over that double-figure mark. You finish with Evan Moeglin with 16, Darius with 26, Donovan with 24. Max Strus, we could talk about Max Strus. Felt like he may have found something tonight. He finished with 11 points. Jalen Tyson finished with 15 points. This kid is coming along and looking like he potentially could be a piece. George Niang finishes with 10. And then our guy, Ty Jerome, 9 of 11 from the field, finishes with 20 points and 6 assists off the bench. That's, 2 straight weeks of unbelievable basketball out of Ty Jerome?
What more can you say about Ty? Like it's been consistent. And like Kenny's saying, like, we're more than halfway through the season. This is real. This isn't some blip. This isn't like, okay, he had a good stretch of 10 games. No, we are 48 games into the season, and Ty Jerome is continuing to do what he does off the bench, and that is facilitate, play make, and play really good defense, and shoot the heck out of the ball too from wherever he wants to shoot on the floor. I was astonished. I shouldn't say astonished because he's been doing it, but I was just like, this guy's getting wherever he wants on the floor. He's finishing left. He's finishing right. The floater tonight and in the paint was just amazing. Like, Ty's had those games where he's like launched like 6-7 threes, and that's how he goes about getting his points. But man, he was just turning the quarter tonight, almost going rover and just finishing really close to the rim with both hands. He's distributing at such a really solid rate. Like, he had 6 dimes tonight. He's either getting them on the pocket, he's doing the drive and dumps, he's doing the drive and kicks. He's just kind of got it all going right now. And I shouldn't even say right now. He's just got it going. He's got it going. Yeah. And he is, here's something that's new that we might not have known. And Kenny's like, I don't know if I should have told you guys this before I told him this. But there was a real chance that Ty would have been the 12th man on this team in the rotation. He was not supposed to be in the first initial rotation. And Ty has made his way up to where he's possibly the 5th or 6th most important player on the team. It just goes to show what happens when you get opportunity and you run with it the way he is. And he's in legit 6th man conversations, I would say.
It's unbelievable. And it gives this element to the Cavs team that, you can give Darius a break, but not only that, now you have that 2-guard look. If you want to give Donovan a break, if you need to go small, guess what? You brought Darius, Ty Jerome, and Donovan on the court at once. You have 3 legit scorers. Last 5 games for Ty Jerome, 33 points in that unbelievable game against the Miami Heat, or excuse me, not the Heat, against the Philadelphia 76ers, where he was perfect from 3. Then he goes 6 points, 15, 20, and 20. And that's just over his last 5. Just been a special stretch for number 2, and he's forced his way onto the court. You cannot take him off of the basketball court. And I think that's been, if he can continue to do that, I mean, look out below, because that's just that extra element. And another guy, Spin, that I think we have to spend a moment on, Jalen Tyson, right? This just keeps getting better and better and better. And he looks so comfortable on the court, and he is a problem because he is big, he is strong, he is fast. And when he can attack the bucket like he's doing and shoot the 3, he puts another element to this Cavs team that just continues to grow.
Yeah, and I would say that's even a bonus if he's making the 3s. I just love the aggressive mindset. He had a nice floater tonight. He went through traffic on a fast break, which yesterday he made the right play twice when he was on a fast break, had the same opportunity, but there was a player in the corner, a teammate in the corner that he would just dish it out to, and he had 2 assists that way. But he just kind of just makes the right plays, and he's everywhere. Like, immediately, as soon as he got into the game, he had 3 rebounds. He scored on a fast break. He's one of those guys to where, like, he should average like 8-9 rebounds a game for what he does, but he's only credited for 4 or 5. Like, he has his hand in the play every time. Defensively, he's been an absolute gnat the last, couple of games that he's been getting playing time. And I think that Kenny's hand might be forced here soon, man. Like, he might need to be a part of the regular rotation. And, I don't want to make this a problem, but this is with Karis LeVert down. This is with Isaac Okoro down and Dean Wade. How do you get all of these guys on the floor together? Tends to work itself out, as Kenny says, because, this is how injury goes in an 82-game season. But Jalen's, I don't know. I would put Jalen above Sam in the rotation right now, to be completely honest. Like, but Sam's back. He was out for a couple of games with an illness. Did some solid stuff. Got a couple steals, hustle steal after he turned the ball over. Actually, he got a hustle steal after he turned the ball over and got an easy 2. But you just got decisions to make. It's tough.
It's first class problems because you'd rather have this problem over, hey, three guys are playing bad. What's our lesser of the evils? Instead of this way, it's you got a bunch of guys who can contribute and a bunch of guys who are playing winning basketball and doing so at a high level. Pulling up the box score here, Darius Garland led the way for the Cavs, 26 points, 7 assists. He was 11 of 20 from the field. Donovan Mitchell went 24 points. I shouldn't say a slow start because he just kind of let Darius and Evan really drive the car. And then in that second half, he got hot. Especially from three, and really started putting it in the bucket. Evan Mobley, great, 16 points, 10 rebounds, another double-double for him. And then we practice this, and I'm gonna mess it up on the other side of things. Zach Rishashar, right? How close?
Risache. Zachary Risache.
Zachary Risache.
Yes. The number one overall pick.
Yep. Awesome tonight. It was fun to watch him, the young rookie, go for 30. He started the game, I think was either 10 of 10 spin or 11 of 11 from the field, and was really a big problem. And then you get Hunter going for 25, and then Trae Young, 15 points, 2 of 8 from 3. Didn't have it tonight, 5 of 16 from the field. But just a full box score from the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, from the top to the bottom, and a guy spin that everyone I think kind of rooting for to find his rhythm and get it back was Max Strus. Came out and had that really nice 3 coming off the right wing where he caught it kind of in motion and had a nice kind of like side fade triple that he hit. And then he goes and tries to do the same thing from the top of the key and looked like me shooting the 3 where he missed everything, clanked off the back of the backboard. It was disgusting. But then he got his confidence back in the second half, hit back-to-back 3s, and had a nice lay at the rim. Finished with 11 points. And you just need him and want him to start getting that rhythm back, shooting the ball.
And that's the movement shooting that you ask for. And I think that's where he's going to get the most of his bread, to be quite honest. I think he's really gotten back to the playmaking again, too, to being a secondary playmaker, playing the two-man game with J.A., also playing the two-man game with Evan. I think he's also somebody who swings the ball around the perimeter really well. And I think he's a really good outlet passer, too, on transition. So, pay attention to that, too. Whether he gets the rebound or whether he's the first pass off of a rebound, I think he really gets the break going well. But yeah, like you said, in succession, hit a couple of corner trays, one from DG, one from Don, that really, started to make some separation between the Cavs and the Hawks. Mm-hmm. And I think that was in the third quarter, I want to say. But he looked like is pretty solid. And then defensively, we know how much he's being asked to do by Kenny and the coaching staff to be the primary defender while Karras is down and Isaac and D. He's got to step up, play those kind of bigger guys, and then try to do the best he can to chase them around and make sure that they're not getting to their spots and grab those rebounds, which he's been grabbing rebounds, man. The rebounds have been big the last couple games.
He had a couple tonight. I can think back to a couple big rebounds where the Cavs were with a smaller lineup, and there's freaking Max Strus, and they're just battling, trying to wrestle that ball away. But it's been a big win, and a win that was needed. Atlanta was 2-0 against the Cavs. Remember, they kind of gave Cleveland the first scare of the season, the first little spurt that the Cavs had early on, but the Cavs get them in a cold spell for Atlanta. This is now their 7th straight loss, and the Cleveland takes care of business and spin just like that. Feels like just yesterday I was out in LA on New Year's Eve, right? We turned the calendar to January, and just like that, we're flipping this thing to February. If that scares you, open your eyes, look up. Yes, January is over, and it is over for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They go 10-5 in the month, in a month where you get to this, this is the dog days of the season. You're right in the middle. You're in Cleveland. The sun doesn't shine. It's dark all of the time. It's -5 degrees, and it's a really good, really hard stretch of basketball to play. And the Cavs go 10-5, do exactly what they need to do, and flip that calendar to February. Now you can start thinking about, all right, playoffs are just around the corner.
Yeah, playoff rotation's probably going to start taking shape post All-Star break. We're still not quite there yet, but something you got to think about as we get there. And obviously the trade deadline's coming up too, and a lot of people want to talk about the moves and stuff like that. I don't know how active they're going to be. I would just assume that they'd be looking for maybe another big man on the buyout market, but that's about as far as I'll go on the trade talks. But just a reminder, the trade deadline is coming up before the All-Star break comes around. And then once we're past that and headed towards March, you got March Madness, you got St. Patty's Day, best month of the year, in my opinion. My birthday happens in that month too. And that means that, spring weather's on the way. So it's good. It's good. We made it past the negative wind chill, thankfully. Today was a beautiful day.
Gorgeous.
It got dark early, but at the same time, I'll take almost 50 in January any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's ride. Let's keep this going. And it's awesome, man. I can't believe it, but we're more than halfway through the season, and somehow the All-Star game and the All-Star break is only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, and somehow the Cleveland Cavaliers have a 5.5 game lead on the Boston Celtics. They're the closest team to 40 wins. They don't even have 10 losses yet. 39-9 entering February. If you would have told us that back in October, Spin would have punched you in the face. And also, if you guys want to really get into a conversation with Spin, throw him some trade ideas. Go into him, find him on Twitter. Go throw him some trade ideas, and let's just see what he has to say to you. Because spoiler alert, it's probably not going to be good. Fun little stretch for the Cavs as they start February. They host the Mavericks on Sunday. Then they host the Boston Celtics coming next Tuesday. That's February 4th. And that one's going to be, again, another nationally televised game. And that's going to be the one you kind of circle, right? We circled it early on in the year after their 15-0 start. And you're circling it again because you had your stretch with the Thunder where you split. Then you get the next best team in the West, the Rockets. They take 2 from you, but you had some injuries. Obviously, Evan didn't play in that one game. But this is going to be potentially an Eastern Conference Finals preview between the Cavs and the Celtics come next Tuesday night. And every basketball fan in America is going to be watching. And then they go back-to-back with Detroit, right? Detroit's a good basketball team. They get to face JB again, this time in the Motor City, taking on those pesky Detroit Pistons. So it's a fun start to February where you get Kyrie, maybe Luka, maybe not Luka. Then you get the Celtics. Then you go up and take on the Pistons.
Yes, 100%. You can't overlook Kyrie anytime. It does suck. They don't have Derek Lively. He's going to be out here for a while. I would love to see if Luka would be able to play, especially with the Slovenian population here that always comes out to support him in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But it's still trying to come back from that injury. So Kyrie, never take him for granted. PJ Washington's probably someone that can give you a lot of problems. Just as one of those, stretch fours who really, puts in a lot of work and does some solid stuff. I think Quentin Grimes has been playing pretty well for them too. Najee Marshall, like they've got a squad still. They're real deep and they're a really solid team. So Sunday should be fun, afternoon tip off. And then like you said, I mean, Boston again, this time it looks like, Drew Holiday will be around and there won't be any, no signs of quote unquote excuses or whatever if they win or lose against Boston. So looking forward to that one. And then we'll see. But Wednesday, your boy could be in Detroit. So possible.
Traveling Spin. Let's go. Spin on the road. We need a whole YouTube series of Spin on the road where you stop, what snacks you get at the gas station. We need it all. we need it. We need it well.
Body armor.
Well documented. Yeah. But no free shout outs, dude. Come on. We talked about this.
True that.
Cavs get the Celtics twice in the month of February. They also have a matchup with the Knicks coming later on in the month too, which that one, certainly as we get closer to it, will be one that has everybody's attention because those darn Knicks, man, they're playing tough, and they play that hard-nosed brand of basketball. Just this year, they have Cat to go along with it. So some fun matchups coming in the month of February, and the Cavs are just going to continue to try and roll this positive momentum that they got going on here, Spin. So it's officially January 31st, Spin. We are past midnight. We got to get out of here. You got to get on the road. Any final thoughts as we shut it down here as we recap the Cavs win over the Hawks?
Yeah, no, I just think that we have to pay attention to the way that they've protected the rim. I told you already that the Cavs had 66 points in the paint on 33 of 42. Compare that to the Hawks, who had 54 points but were significantly less efficient, 27 of 46 in the paint. And I think that has to do a lot with how Jarrett and Evan have started to really concentrate on the middle and making sure that no one is getting easy buckets, which was the problem during that 3-game losing streak. And it's clear as day too, because where they're positioned on the floor, everyone's getting rebounds. This is the third straight game where the Cavs have significantly outboarded their opponent, and the third straight game, too, where Evan and Jarrett have combined for 25 rebounds. So I think that is my biggest takeaway with all this. They've changed their coverage up a little bit, as Kenny told me, and it's obviously worked, and it's gotten them rebounds, and they're getting out in transition and doing some solid stuff.
It was an awesome night. It was a great night to be a Cleveland Cavalier. There's been a lot of them, but tonight was absolutely one of them. Cavs 137, Atlanta Hawks 115. If you jumped in with us live, really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, we do this pretty much after every game, certainly after every home game, and then on the road as well. We kind of cover from home. So appreciate you jumping in with us live. If you're catching us in the morning or later on in the day, thank you for stopping in. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and go find us on Twitter. All of our channels are rolling down right below me. So subscribe here, follow us on Twitter, go follow us individually. We'd love to continue the support, love to continue this coverage. We love doing this stuff and only can do it because of your support. Also have a bunch of content over on the site, SI.com/Cav/NBA/Cav. Sorry, I get them all mixed up. But regardless, if I screwed it up, it's also right here, right below us. But we're going to get out of here on that. For my partner, Spencer Spin Davies, I'm Anthony Moeglin. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight as we recap the Cleveland Cavaliers 137-115 victory over the Atlanta Hawks on the Cleveland Cavaliers on SI YouTube channel.